Hi, this video is to talk about the extra paths assignment for Photoshop. What you guys need to do is make sure that you download the extra paths zipped folder from inside of Blackboard and extract that. And then once you open that folder, you will see that there are 4 small Photoshop files in here, path 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to click on path number 1 and shift click path number 4 so that I can open all of them at the same time. All right, so the purpose of this small assignment is just to get you used to working with a pen tool. I know that there are some of you that have never worked with a pen tool before. There are some of you that are currently in Adobe Illustrator while you are taking the Photoshop class, so you may have already been introduced to the pen tool, and some of you may have had Adobe Illustrator in a past semester. And basically, this little small assignment, which I got from an old Illustrator book when I taught it ages ago, is just getting everybody to get on the same page. Whether you have experience using the pen tool or whether you don't, it's just a small little assignment to get you used to creating line segments and curves. So the approach, how I'm going to approach this, especially with the curves, may be just a slightly little bit different than how you would learn it in Illustrator. But this is Photoshop, so I'm going to assume that nobody has worked with the pen tool yet, okay? All right, so here is what the 4 paths look like. We have path 1, which is just going to be line segments. We have path 2, which is just line segments. Path 3 introduces curves. And then path 4 is got some really kind of sharp curves, you know, and then we do have some lines involved in that. So I'm going to start over here with path 1. And what I want you guys to notice in your layers panel is that each one of these Photoshop files has a locked white background. And then on top of it, we have a smart object. All right, so the smart object that has been brought in is actually probably an Adobe Illustrator file, so that we can use this as a guide, almost like tracing paper, okay? So what we want to do is press P on our keyboard to give us the pen tool, okay? And then up here in the options bar, I want you guys to make sure that you choose shape, that you have no fill. You can choose whatever color you want, okay? That's fine. I'm going to just stick with the green because that's the same color that we used to trace in lesson 8 with the pen tool for the Photoshop book. And then I'm just going to stick with 4 pixels. You don't need anything very big. You just need a kind of a pen size big enough for you to see it. So maybe 3 or 4 pixel would be sufficient. Okay, so what I want to do is I'm going to click one time with my mouse, and I'm just going to follow the shape of the lines, just clicking one time, okay? When you get to the end, okay, I want you guys to notice one thing, okay? Notice that this is a little box that is filled, okay? This is your active endpoint here. Now, what we want to do is we want to get practice up here, but then down here, we're going to do it again without using like the tracing paper part. All right, but in order for me to go and to start down here and redo the shape, I don't want to have this active. So what I need to do is press enter on my keyboard. If I don't, this still would have been active, and when I would have come down here to click for the first time, it would have connected this point to this point, and that's not what we want to do. So make sure you just simply tap enter or return on your keyboard when you're done working at the top before you start at the bottom. So here's my first click, and I'm just going to come over here, okay, and I'm just going to basically duplicate. All right, and then I'm going to press enter one more time. Now, since we are using our pen tool to create shapes, I want you to look over here in the layers panel. We have our original background, we have path 1. We have shape 1, which is the top, we have shape 2, which is the bottom, okay? When you are done with path 1, please make sure you do a Control or Command S or go to File and Save. All right, I'm going to come over here to path number 2, and I am going to basically do the exact same thing. I'm going to click one time and just carefully follow the lines that are given. Okay, and I'm going to show you guys a really kind of easy way to do this if you want to keep your line straight. Now, do you notice right here that that little endpoint is filled? Okay, that is basically an active endpoint there. So I'm going to press enter on my keyboard. so that when I come down here and click down here, it does not connect this point to this point. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw me some guides. I'm going to pull some guides down from those rulers. Okay. And what this is going to enable me to do is to create some really straight lines and to make this go really quick. Okay. It's almost like a cheater. All right. So I'm going to grab my pen tool. Okay. And you can create as few or as, you know, oh, that should be enough. All right, you can create as many or as few guides as you want. But when you use the pen tool and you click on a guide, it snaps to the guide. So, you know, you're going to see that these lines are going to be straight. And right down here, my endpoint is filled. I want to make sure that I press enter on my keyboard. Now, if you don't want to see your guides, okay, you can go to view and clear guides, and then you can see that there. See how easy that was? All right, so if you take a look over here at your layers panel, still you have your background and your original path 2, which is the smart object. You have shape 1 on top, shape 2 on the bottom. Make sure you Control S or Command S and save path 2. Over here on path number 3, I'm going to show you, actually I'm going to zoom in so that you guys can see this a little bit better, okay, because these are curves. So my approach to doing curves, okay, because some of these can be very steep curves, is I am going to show you how to create an additional point to really kind of get that whole feel of that curve. Let me show you what I mean by that. I'm going to grab my pen tool. I'm going to click one time here. One time, click one time. I'm going to click at the top, click, hold your left mouse button and drag to the right. And then I'm going to click and release right here. Do you see that? All right, and I'm going to tap enter on my keyboard. So when you get to the top or the bottom of the curve, you're going to click, hold, and drag, okay? So right here, click one time. Click, hold, and drag. And then click one time. Okay, and now we can come back and adjust this, and I'm going to show you how. All right, I'm going to click, hold, and drag. And then I'm going to click one time. Get up to the top, click, hold, and drag to the right. And then click one time. Click, hold, and drag to the right. Click one time. Click, hold, and drag to the right. And then click one time. Okay? Now, I'm going to go ahead and press enter on that. So what I can do is I can come down here and select my direct selection tool, which is my white arrow. It's A on my keyboard, and I can click this path. And what happens is it's going to basically reselect that path for me. And if you hover over these little filled boxes, see how you can actually move these shapes? You can move these, and you can even move the directional lines and clean this up. Do you see that? Isn't that cool? So even if you don't get it perfect the first time, it's not a big deal. You can use your tool to come in here and clean this up. Okay. All right. And that again is your direct selection tool. That is A on your keyboard. So when you're pretty happy with that, you can go ahead and click to deselect that again. And then you'll notice that your shape 1 is up here. Your shape 2 is right here. Now I'm going to do a fit on screen. Okay. Now, if you want to, you can drag a guide down. Okay, if you want, in order to be able to use this as a guide. You see where those dots are? That's entirely up to you. Okay, and or to have a starting and an ending point. So, I mean, it's whatever you guys want to do, whatever you feel comfortable with. Hold on a second. I got to grab my move tool and move these down. If you're not happy where your guides are drawn, just grab your move tool and then you can move it. All right, I'm going to grab my pen tool and I'm going to click one time here. I'm going to go to the top, click, hold, and drag. And then I'm going to click one time on my line. And then I will press enter. Okay, that creates shape 3. Okay, now down here, I can do the same thing. Okay, now if you want to drag a guide down to where you know, it looks like this on the bottom, you can. Okay, again, you can create as many guides or as few of guides as you feel you need in order to be successful with it. Okay, and I'll show you how you can, hold on a second, how you can do that. I'm going to grab my move tool again and pull some guides down here. Okay, it's just for practice. All right, I'm going to grab my pen tool and I'm going to click one time. I'm going to go to the top, click, hold, and drag, and then click one time. And then I'm going to come down here to the middle and I'm going to click, hold, and drag. And then I'm going to click one time. Go to the top, click, hold, and drag to the right. And then I'm going to click one time. Come down to the bottom, click, hold, and drag. Click one time. Click, hold, and drag. And then you can click one time. Okay, so you can kind of see I got a little messy with that, and that's perfectly okay. I can grab my direct selection tool, select the path, and then I can come over here and I can actually make this a little bit. I can adjust all of these to where they fit. Okay, again, that's using your direct selection. Okay. All right. So that's how you do that. Okay, so when you're all done, you'll see shape 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, very easy to do. So let's take a look over here at path number 4. Make sure you guys save that whenever you are done. All right, so this one has some really sharp curves that go one right into each other, almost like a hop type of, motion. So I'm going to grab my pen tool, P on my keyboard. I'm going to do the exact same thing. Click one time, click, hold, and drag, and then click again. Come to the top, click, hold, and drag, and then click one time. Click, hold, and drag to the right, and then click one time. Click, hold, and drag, and click one time. Click, hold, and drag, and then click one time. Okay? Now, remember you can use your direct selection tool to click back into this and clean this up however you feel you need to do that. Okay, now, you might see whenever you change shape of your direction handle up here that the sharper your shape goes, like the longer your direction handle goes, this might look like it's kind of hanging down a little bit. And that's fine. I mean, this is just getting used to the feel of the pen tool. Okay? It's just kind of getting used to it so that you can see, how this works. Actually, I am going to adjust that point completely over to the right and make that look a little bit better. All right, when I'm done, that's what it looks like. Okay? You can see here that this is shape number 1. So I'm going to grab my pen tool and I'm going to do the exact same thing. Click one time. At the very top of the curve, I'm going to click, hold, and drag to the right. And then I'm going to click one time. Straight across, click one time. Come to the middle of this curve at the bottom. Click, hold, and drag to the right. And I'm going to click one time on the black dot. Click one time on the black dot. Go to the top of the curve. Click, hold, and drag. And then click one time. Okay? And I'm going to grab my direct selection tool and see if I can just kind of move this just slightly, okay, to make that look a little better. There you go. That looks pretty good. So shape 1, shape 2. Okay, so if you want to drag a guide down, I'm going to use kind of just one guide to do this time. Grab my pen tool. I'm going to click one time, click, hold, and drag, and click one time. Go to the top, click, hold, and drag, and then click one time. Click, hold, and drag, and then click one time. Click, hold, and drag to the right, and then click one time. Click, hold, and drag to the right, and click one time. Do it one more time. Click, hold, and drag to the right to create that curve, and then click one time, and then make sure I press enter, okay? Now, you can totally, again, use your direct selection tool to kind of clean this up. I'm going to drag one guide down just so that I have this as a basis for my straight lines that you see here. Okay, grab my pen tool, and I am going to click one time, click, hold, and drag to the right to create that curve, and then I'll finish that curve. And then I have a straight line, and then I'm going to go this way. So I'm going to go down here to the bottom, and I'm going to click, hold, and drag to create that curve, and I'll finish that curve right here. Click, hold, and drag to create that straight line. Come up to the top, click, hold, and drag to create that last curve. Okay, there you go. Now I'm going to use my direct selection tool to kind of make this a little better. Okay, you can see how I'm doing that like right here. All right, so there you guys have it, okay? Make sure you save all of these when you are done, then re-zip that extra PAS assignment folder, and then there's a assignment slot for that over there, and I think it is in lesson 8 in the extra PAS assignment. There's like an assignment upload that you guys can attach your zip folder. Okay, so each one of these is worth 5 points. And then so you will have a total of 20 points when you are done. And if you guys have any questions about this at all, just let me know and we can cover it together. Thanks, guys.